ladies and gentlemen, we are back with game number 2 of the winner's match from this second group session. We had Daniel picking up the first game with pretty convincing style there. At no point was he really set off of his pace. So as we see in this game, we'll go down to the 6 o'clock position here on Polar Night. We see our green Protoss player ahead 1-0 in this series. It is Infinity Gaming's Daniel and his opponent wearing the beautiful winter camouflage, which perhaps maybe even matches his eyes. I don't know. I've never seen Atlas. But it is Infinity Gaming's Atlas hoping that he can claw his way back into this series against Daniel and dodge the storms, maybe drop a few nukes in the process. Who knows? It's going to be a great game. What are your predictions, Cube? Who takes this game? What do they do? How do they open? What do you think?
Alice has a great chance of taking this game. He has seen how Daniel opens. Daniel might change his opener. I'd like to see a proxy Stargate come out of him though. A very SOS style oriented. But Atlas is gonna hide his racks. One time I had this on ladder. I didn't scout it, and I thought I was being proxy 2 racks. I looked everywhere. But he just floated them over to his third base or fourth base. Whichever one you take. Unless you take the one behind. 4th, 5th, 6th, something like that.
Yep. So Daniel moved down to the natural. Not quite sure what's going on. Does see the supply depot, but did not spot this racks tucked away in the corner here. Now his probe getting a little paranoid here, checking around for a would-be proxy, but not finding anything.
He's thinking.
Be interesting to see how Daniel responds to this.
He's thinking CC first, but as soon as he sees this gas, he reassures himself that it's not a proxy.
Yep. Oh, his probe getting caught by the SCV's. Big misstep there by Daniel. SCV's taking down that probe, drawing the first blood, and no more scouting information is going to come out of Atlas's base from that probe. One Marine already out. Another Marine going. A little bit of good mind games here in the early game by Atlas. I like this, trying to throw Daniel off. Scan going down to see what response he got. Chrono boosted a Zealot out, so Daniel a little bit worried about something cropping up in his base.
We got no Reaper out for Atlas though, so he had to rely on that scan to give him the necessary scouting information he needed. He needed to know if he was all-in, he needed to know if he had to chrono that gate. And Daniel is throwing down a second gate. I think this is a big mistake. He has not scouted the racks. I think if he just looked around a bit more, he would have rewarded himself a bit more. If he did, he does not need this second gateway.
Yeah, I think Daniel's opting to play this safe and not get caught off guard by something he doesn't scout.
Or maybe he's going aggressive, because that's pretty early second gate.
Yep, moving across the field now with this stalker.
Third gate coming down.
Yeah, so definitely aggressive play here coming from Daniel. There's 3 gates on the field now, and sometimes offense is the best defense, especially when you're not quite sure what's going on. I mean, what better than attacking, right, Cube? I mean,
yeah, but
they're...
Now he knows that he's not being proxied, but Atlas does not have an idea of what's in Daniel's base. He's using call down on mules. He needs to scan. If he had that money scan right now, he would know what's up. I would have rather had Daniel to expand and then throw down a robo and come to Immortal Bust. But that only works against CC first, and Daniel doesn't realize that it was Rax first, so he might be gearing up to this.
Yeah, Mothership Core and expansion for Daniel. I think Daniel's sort of realizing now that things have settled out. He's a little unsure. Atlas opting for pretty techie style here, getting Engineering Bay and Factory is now just both of them completing here. And we see a starport going as well. So just 1-1-1 here with +1 weapons going. Tech Lab coming down on the barracks. Factory hopping over, doing a little building swap here. Factory hopping over. 2 mines in production. We have the starport here, so we may be seeing mine drops here.
We do see the engineering bay, but Daniel does have a robo coming down, and I think he will have detection in time. Daniel did grab his second gas, but here comes the famous Atlas lag again.
Yeah.
In the middle of the Atlantic.
Atlas, actually sponsored by the last remaining 56K modem company. So we're going to have to wait a second here. And things seem to be restored. These two stalkers just sort of chilling, waiting for their shields to recharge so they can poke in, maybe do a little bit of damage. Back at home, Forge going down, Twilight Council, and Robotics Facility in Daniel's base. Another scan, checking out the natural, and Atlas sees that Daniel has expanded. So both players on two bases now. Econ advantage in favor of Atlas, as he's already started to SCV up his natural here. That doesn't quite work as well as a verb as the other two races, but
the thing here is that Atlas is actually so far ahead because he did force 3 early gateways, or 2 earlier gateways than usual out of the Protoss player, which does set the whole Nexus behind by 300 minerals. If Daniel saw that earlier and did not build those 2 gateways, I'm pretty sure this Nexus would be way faster.
Yep, 4 mines getting loaded up into this medevac. We're definitely seeing a mine drop in progress here. Medevac boosting its way behind the natural. It's going to very slowly make its way around. Daniel, however, does have a probe here, spotting right over the line of the path for this medevac. So this show could be over before it starts if this probe spots the medevac. We'll have to see if Daniel's vision catches this. He's got observers moving around, looking in his base, chrono boosting. Just kind of checking around.
Daniel needs to bring back those 2 stalkers back to his main base, because if he does not notice...
flies over. Daniel does not adjust his view there. I'm not sure whether Daniel saw this or not. It did fly right over his probe. He has 2 stalkers in his main, though, so it's likely with that and a photon overcharge, he's going to be able to shoot this off very quickly.
Daniel sees a medevac now, but he's not responding to...
Mines going down. Photon overcharge going down. 1 mine connects. My camera goes all wonky. 2 mines are down here in the main mineral line. 2 kills on one, 2 kills on the other. Cannon takes down these 2 mines. They get 1 shot off. 3 workers killed. This mine starting to eke a little bit closer. Does he see it? Oh, and 1 probe. Smart move by Daniel there to immediately attack it with that 1 probe and get it to prioritize the firing there. So, all in all, not sure if that was worth it. As we look at the workers killed tab, 9 workers down for Atlas there, as opposed to none from Daniel.
We have a 3rd coming down from Atlas. We have +1 armor down for Daniel, and we do have +2 armor coming out. And Zealot legs, Zealot charge, +2 more gates. Atlas does seem like he's ahead, but he's not making units.
Yep, Atlas opting to get his further production buildings going. 3 more barracks going down, another engineering bay, lots of upgrades on the way. Combat shield is halfway done. We have concussive shells on the way, as well as +2 attack. Storms on the way for Daniel now, and a bunch of medevacs and some bio looking to move out here. Observers are going to spot this push, though.
But Daniel did recall his observers earlier, but he does see that reinforcement line pushing out. I think if Atlas pushed out, I think this would be a very bad option if he attacked right into the natural of Daniel. But Daniel is opting to expand here, because he could just throw down Imba charge, as you call it. Well, you don't call it that, but we all know that the Mothership Core, quote, has 10 abilities, unquote.
Yep, so it looks like we're getting a drop here, going up into the main. I would like to see this drop poke a little bit further, start killing some workers rather than just peppering these gateways with stuff. not super effective. He does manage to move in the front. There's an Archon and a Photon Overcharge waiting for his Marauders, though. They don't get too far. All in all, that drop pretty unsuccessful, though not too many units lost, as the medevacs are able to pick up most of the units that were involved in the assault on the main base. 4 more barracks going down here, making a nice little SimCity wall against the 3rd.
2-2 halfway done for Atlas, 3/4 done in his +1 attack, halfway for his armor, and Daniel is starting +1 attack at this time. Daniel needs to throw down another forge and start double upping. Oh, there's a forge, I missed it.
Yep, and so Daniel now has a Warp Prism on the field. This is the same thing that we saw him segue into in Game 1. He's behind in upgrades, however, I think he is a bit further ahead in tech. He's got Storms now on the field, he has an Archon, and now he's just going to look to slow Atlas down a bit with some drop harass. The shuttle here moving out, Warp Prism, I guess. The two flying personnel carriers there, trading spaces. 4 Marauders heading down.
But Atlas is again behind in supply.
Yep, Daniel sees it, immediately warps in 8 Zealots underneath it. Marauders drop into the natural. They're going to be focusing on this cannon. They're going to be able to pick off a few workers uncontested. There's an engagement also going down. Storm going down on few bio units there. Not sure Daniel wants to get pulled in 2 different directions here. Marauders get it picked back up and now are being moved down to the 3rd of Daniel. No?
Daniel did split his army up here, so if Atlas did see this scanned right there and moved out, he could pick 5 Templar. That's 500 gas.
Yep, Atlas dropping these Marauders back down here. I'd like to see these drops be a little bit more effective. If he can get these in the mineral line, he's going to do so much more damage. Right now, he's just hacking away at Zealots. He needs to get these out of here. The medevac goes down. All of these Marauders are down. Perhaps this Zealot harass in the main is the culprit for the lack of control there. Getting mopped up finally. The Warp Prism here just returning the favor from the drop. Daniel saying, hey, Terrans aren't the only ones who could be annoying with drops. So he's got his own drop capability here. Unfortunately, flying over this bio army, the dropship is going to go down. Some Templar and Stalkers caught out of position. If he can just snipe those Templar, he gets 3 of the Templar while eating a storm, and the Zealots are able to clean it up. But Daniel did lose 2 or 3 Templar there.
Atlas is oversaturated in his 3rd base. Needs to pull back into his main and finish off the job.
Yeah, we got Ghosts on the field here for Atlas, dropping some lovely EMPs. Most of these High Templar are down to no energy, and Daniel storms one of himself. His High Templar to death there. Not sure what that is about. Ghost hacking away here. More bio coming up to reinforce this. Great storm by Daniel. I'd like to see Atlas split these units up a little bit more. This giant clump is just begging for storms to be dropped on it. There we go. More storms. Not moving out of them. Great storms by Daniel. These bio units are going to have to be spread out a little bit more. Otherwise, he's just going to get so much DPS from these storms. 3-3 upgrades just starting here for Atlas.
Even though that was a great EMP by Atlas, he did not shake those storms as well as he should have. But we do see a Marauder heavy composition, a Marauder favored composition coming out of Atlas.
Yeah, I like this decision. Atlas deciding just to power through this sort of storm heavy style from Daniel with these Marauders. The medevacs healing them all up nicely. They're just marching right in on the 3rd back here. He's got to be careful, though. He could get himself very out of position. This base is very dangerous to engage.
I feel like Daniel should have fed back the medevac instead of those storms, because it would just deplete their
The 3rd falls here. This bio getting some work done. Rocks are broken. Army comes crashing in, but I'd love to see another sort of counterattack push as Daniel's army is drawn all the way back here out of position. This now 3rd base of Daniel is wide open for the taking. I'd like to see Atlas start splitting up his forces and start exploiting the mobility of the Terran race here.
I'd like to see him exploit the mobility in multi-pronged drops. Daniel does have a probe over here. I'd like to see that put down a few more proxy pylons so he does have the option to attack if being attacked, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Atlas going to drop this fourth base yet again. His army is in a pretty good defensive position. I'd like to see him, move forward and get that tower. He sees the edge here of Daniel's army, so he knows right where. Ghost heading forward, seeing if he can land that money EMP. All the High Templar here could possibly go down. EMP lands on half of the Templar. Bio seizing the moment to move in here. Nice little split there. Storm going down, not as effective as the previous storms. He doesn't have too many storms in the bank, but half of Atlas's army isn't even here fighting.
Another EMP. The storms are decent. The Zogs are doing work. The Templar are changing into Archons. Looks like both of them are even. Looks like a dead even army, but it does look like Atlas is pulling ahead here with more EMPs on that Archon. Daniel's desperately warping in. But it does look like Atlas might pull through on this game.
Yeah, Atlas just hacking his way through everything with sheer brute force. 3-3 now finally completed. 3-3 Marauders are a scary thing. This Nexus is going to fall. Atlas is up 167 supply to Daniel's 75. Things are not looking good for Daniel at this point. He retreats back into his natural as this fleet of Marauders just keeps working his way through.
So he wants to move half his army forward to eat up all the storms. But Daniel's trying to save up for it. But it does look like the natural is going to fall. And Atlas just put himself in such a big economic lead already that I think
Atlas maxed on supply now. Daniel slowly dropping at 83. Desperation storms coming out here. Atlas finally starting to split up his army into smaller groups. These Zealots just aren't going to be enough. These High Templar are going to have to become Archons, but the Bio is still here, still chipping away at everything. Probes moving in to attack these Marauders. That's not going to help. There's a drop in the main. Production going down to Daniel. I just don't see any way for him to repel this attack. Atlas streaming units across the field here. I think this is GG Cube. I don't see how Daniel can come back from this.
This is GG, I think. He's lost all his mining.
There's the GG. Atlas takes game 2. Series tied 1-1. What a game.